Is that working? Hello? Anyone? Oh, finally. That's so weird. That happened with Twitch earlier as well. I had a security update on my iMac last night, and it's just knocked all my settings crazy. Nothing worked on Twitch earlier either. Ugh. Anyway, hello everyone who I said hello to when I didn't have any sound, and everyone who I said hello to now that I have had sound. Hi. Day 7 of Vlogmas. Woohoo! And I've had a haircut, so I don't look like a hobbit anymore. Let me turn that down because it's going into red. I love your hair colour. It's the same colour that I do my blue. I just haven't put my blue on yet because I've been too busy. But I'm kind of liking it silver, so maybe I'll leave it for a little bit. I don't know. I was planning on doing it tonight and having it blue tonight, but I don't think I can be bothered. It's Friday. I just want to eat pizza and watch scary movies. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Okay. First off, I may have to stop the stream at some point because I'm expecting a call from my landlord. My phone is here because I'm waiting for him to call me. He may not call me. I don't know. Anyway, if I do have to suddenly stop the stream, that's why. I will be back, but I need to talk to my landlord. Procrastination. Procrastination. For years, I have suffered with procrastination. All plans start with, let's make a cup of coffee, but first coffee. Well, all plans start with, but first coffee anyway. But then all plans start with, but first let's make another cup of coffee. No, I know he's going to call. I'm just waiting for him to call. He is going to call. I'm just waiting for him to call me. That's all. For many, many years, I was told I was lazy because if I had 5 years in which to write an essay, I would still leave it till the night before. In fact, my dissertation for law school, I did leave it till the night before. I stayed up for the 8 hours before the deadline and I wrote it and I handed it in. I work best to a deadline, and I know that. I do my best work to a deadline. It doesn't matter how many times people say, oh, well, you should leave yourself enough time to be able to, you know, walk away from it and reread it and come back and edit it. And I'm like, no, if I edit it, it's going to be crap. The best version is the version that I write, and then I spell check, and then I leave it the hell alone. The minute I start tweaking it, I learnt this lesson in school when my teacher actually told me that the problem with my essays was that I never edited them. I said, but I do edit them. And I showed her like the 6 to 8 drafts of an essay that I'd written and said, well, look, I did all these before you got the final one. And she looked through them and she said, you should have handed in the first one. So from that point on, that's what I did. I never edited anything else. I spell checked it and I read through it for mistakes and glaringly obvious errors. But I never edited anything. I just, you know, what I said was what I said and that was it. And I always got A's. So I work well to a deadline. I work well under pressure. I always aced exams, even if I hadn't studied them, because I don't know, I'm good at BS, I guess. I'm good at answering a question the way I know they want to hear the answer. Let's put it that way. It's not because I know a lot, it's because I'm good at answering questions. And making it sound like I know what I'm talking about. But I've always suffered with procrastination. Always. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything from taking the dogs out for a nice walk to doing my work. Everything procrastinates. And it's not because I'm lazy. I work damn hard at what I do. And I know I do. And nobody can tell me otherwise. But for some reason, doesn't matter what it is or how much I wanted to do it, it didn't get done. For years, I struggled with being this teacher who did online YouTube classes and videos and online classes and art classes and stuff like that, and constantly things would be late. They would be late. They would be, at the very least, not as early as I wanted them to be. I would very often have an idea for something to go out on Monday, but I wouldn't tell anybody it was going out on Monday. I'd tell everybody it was going to be Wednesday, and then by Wednesday I still hadn't done it, and I'd say, oh, it's a bit late, I'm just going to do it for tomorrow now, and then I'd have to do it at the last minute. And I always used to get frustrated with myself. I'm like, why the hell am I like this? I have figured it out. And I've got to tell you, the answer blew me away, because I would never, ever have said that this was the reason. It's not an issue of, I can see lots of people putting comments in the thing saying, oh, for me it's this, for me it's that, blah, 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 and I would have said the same things, okay? I knew it wasn't fear. Fear is not one of the things that I have. A lot of people have fear of failure, fear of perfection, fear of success, fear of being, you know, what is it, imposter syndrome, all that kind of stuff. It definitely wasn't that for me. But for many, many years, I was convinced I was just lazy. Or that I was just doing something that I didn't want to do. I don't understand. Why am I procrastinating on things that I want to do? Surely if you want to do something, then you should be getting on with it, right? And I can see lots of people in the comments putting the same things. I'm not going to address every single one. We'll be here forever. For those of you in my class, if you want to start a thread and chat, I know a lot of you are in class, so if you want to start a thread and chat about it and compare notes, that's fine. But I can't get into every single person's replies right at this moment. Everybody procrastinates. It's just, to what degree do we procrastinate and why? This book has told me why I procrastinate. Now, somebody yesterday put on here, because I'd said, oh, I was amazed because I finally figured out that it's a journal. It's a bullet journal, not a bullet planner. And somebody said, well, I already knew that, so I won't bother buying the book then. That's not all that's in the book. If that was all that's in the book, he could have written on a Post-it note. I mean, that's not all that's in the book. I don't know why you would think that's all that's in the book. There's a lot more in the book than that. It's just that was the very first thing that woke me up and went, whoa, honey, you'd been doing it wrong. In fact, actual how to bullet journal only takes up the first third of the book. After that, a lot of it is philosophical. And that was the part that made me sit up. He talks about various different things. He talks about intention, which is very much central to the bullet journal. And he talks about the difference between working with intention and working on autopilot. And that autopilot is a lot of the reason why people don't enjoy what they do. Because they're autopiloting instead of doing intentionally what they intend to do. If you intend to do something, even if it's something that you don't enjoy, like going to the dentist, you can feel like you've accomplished something. And feeling like you've accomplished something makes you happy because it makes you feel successful. And that motivates you further to do the next thing. and so on. It's all very obvious when somebody writes it out. Then he talks about, later in the book, he talks about motivation and how motivation is linked to goals. Now, I'm not a goal setter. I never have been. I was talking in my class the other day about maybe this is the time that I need to be. Maybe this is something that I need to start doing. I've never been a resolution maker or anything like that. You know, I have an idea, I go with it. Next year, I want to start being a little bit more goal orientated. Not like every single thing has to be written down or anything like that. Just, you know, have some kind of vague idea of where I'm headed, and avoiding, like Ryder talks about, the distractions. He talks about an exercise he did with somebody where he says, write down the 25 things that are most important for you in terms of career progression. And then highlight the 5 priorities. Or the top 5 for you. And he said, now why did you label those top 5? And the guy said, well, the top 5 are the ones that I want to work on right now. These are the most important, the most urgent, or the ones that I'm already doing and I'm doing well with, and I want to keep going until I've finished. And the other 20 things are stuff that I want to do, and I'll kind of work on them in bits when I've got time, because I want to concentrate my efforts on the 5. And he said, no, that's not what you do. The 20 things that you are going to fit in around the 5 are just distractions. They are procrastination techniques. They are what you do when you don't have the confidence or the skill or the progression or the goals or the motivation to work on your top 5. You don't work on anything but your top 5 until you've done your top 5. So the top 5 you do, if you finish one of your top 5, you don't then adopt something else and say, yeah, it's another 5, there's another 5. You finish the other 4. When you've finished all 5, you pick another 5, okay? And he did say the name of the guy who did this method, but I can't remember who it was. Maddie, shush, baby. I've never read The 7 Habits, so I don't know. I'm just telling you what is in this book, okay? Can you stop? Hi, I love you too. You're beautiful. Oh, kisses! Kisses from Maddie, I love you too. For me, the thing came in around here. Maddie, shush! He does talk about procrastination, and he says that usually, not always, but usually, procrastination is because it's something you don't really want to do. And he says if it's something if that's your chore, it's the one thing you've been putting off and putting off and putting off, just get it done. Prioritise it first. Get it done, get it over with, and you'll stop procrastinating. It's obvious, isn't it? Do the thing, and then you won't be avoiding doing the thing. Duh. But what happens if you are not avoiding doing something because you don't want to do it? The things I procrastinate with are things like doing a video. I will go and clean the kitchen in order to procrastinate doing a video, even though I absolutely hate cleaning, but I love doing videos. So at some point in the book, he talks about looking at anthropomorphizing your chores and getting your chores to tell you what the problems are. And then he talks about this 5 whys method, and this is where things got interesting. So the 5 whys method, if I can find what's the name of the guy who does the 5 whys? Hang on, I've got to find the right page. I bookmarked it, but I don't think I bookmarked the right page. 5 whys technique, 2134. Oh, I went past it. Here we go. Sakichi Toyoda, founder of Toyota and father of the Japanese Industrial Revolution, invented this technique to uncover the causes of technical problems in his company's manufacturing process. And basically, you ask 5 questions. Why, and why. The example he gives, and this is to do with getting to the bottom of things, because on the surface, the first answer you give is not the right answer. The first answer you give is your initial answer. The second answer is the answer you've given after you've thought about it. The third answer is the answer you've given after you've analysed it, and so on. So it's only by the 5th answer that you've really got the truth. And he gives an example: I can't pay my rent. There's the problem. Why? Because I don't have any money, or because I don't have the money. Why? Because the rent is high. Why? Because I live in a nice area. Why? Because I like living there. Why? Because the neighbourhood has nice people, good shops and restaurants, and it makes me feel safe. So now you've gone from the problem is I can't pay my rent to an appreciation. I live in a good neighbourhood with nice people and good shops and restaurants, and it makes me feel safe. So you've gone from having a problem to having a problem that needs a solution. Because if you say, I can't pay my rent, well, what's the obvious answer to I can't pay my rent? I need more money. That's not the correct answer. What you need is the motivation and the appreciation of why you're paying that money. That will give you the motivation to save, to stop frittering away money, to maybe get an extra job, get a job on the side, ask for a pay rise, whatever it is that you need or can do to rectify the situation. Even if that means looking for a cheaper place in the same neighbourhood. So you've gone from being, I have a problem, to, I have a problem and I want to solve it. That's motivation. So then you create a plan of attack. What can you do? 1, ask for a raise. That's the most easy thing. 2, look for a better paying job. 3, get a roommate. 4, move to the same a close neighbourhood where the cost of living is slightly lower. 5, take continuing education classes to increase your value so that you can get a better job. So now you're making progress, and there you have a goal. So you have plans of attack. For now, you could get a better paying job, ask for a raise, get a second job. You could get a flatmate to help you in the interim while you do extra classes to increase your skill level so that in a year's time you can look for a better job and afford your house on your own when your flatmate moves out. Yeah? So you're long-term goaling from there. And he calls these dragons. I forget exactly... Oh, right, okay. So your goal becomes take continuing education classes to increase value. That's the goal. So then the subtasks become deciding what it is and your fields of interest, finding a class, putting money aside so you can afford a class, getting a roommate so that you can pay the rent and afford taking a class, all that kind of stuff. Each task you complete is a successful blow landed in the battle with your dragon. Dragons. This is what he calls dragons. The longer they live, the bigger they become. They feed off your misfortunes, resentments, and sense of helplessness. And the only way to deal with them is to stare them down. And the longer you look into their big, terrible eyes, you will see your reflection. They are mirrors exposing vulnerabilities, insecurities, weaknesses, and fears. Don't turn away, stand up to them. So I thought, well, okay then, what's my big problem? Procrastination. Why do I procrastinate? So I went through the whole 5 questions of why do I procrastinate. And I don't have the 5 things that I wrote down off the top of my head, but I went through, I wrote quite extensively about what it was and why and so on. And I started simple. Why do I procrastinate? Because I don't want to do it. Why don't I want to do it? Because it feels like a chore. It feels like I'm not in control. Other people are demanding things of me all the time. And I don't like that level of stress. This is where it came. The reason I don't like it is because I'm a control freak. I don't like being told what to do. Now, this won't come as a surprise to people like Rachel, who've known me for 30 years. She probably would have said, of course you're a control freak. You can't even have a flatmate because you can't stand people moving things around the house. It drives you nuts. You don't like being told what to do. You hate authority. You hate feeling beholden to anyone. To the point where you pay off your credit card every month. You know, that's the kind of person I am. I like to be a free agent. Hello, Aquarius, fixed sign, party of 1. I would never have pecked myself as a control freak. I'm one of the most laid-back people I know. I don't care. I walked in to get my hair cut and she said, what do we want this time? And I went, a bit longer than you did it last time because it's too bloody cold. Well, do you want it shorter on the top? I don't care, just do it. Do you want it squared off at the back? I don't care, I can't see the back. Do you want the front? She was doing this with the front. She's like, do you want the front so that you can straighten it like this? And I'm like, dude, I don't own a hairdryer, let alone a pair of straighteners. I don't care, just make it look decent. Because I get up in the morning and I give my head a good scrub like this all over because my hair goes flat on one side because it's curly. So it always looks weird. And then that's it, I leave it. I don't do anything else with it. I don't straighten it, I don't dry it, I wash it and I towel dry it occasionally, that's it. I really genuinely do not care. And she's like, well, and she said this to me the first time I went. She didn't say it today, but she said, what? I don't understand. People usually know exactly how they want their hair done. And I'm like, I just want it short. I want to be able to get up, run my fingers through it, maybe stick on a bit of hairspray if I have to, and walk out the door. I don't care about my hair. I will mess about with the colour, but I do not care what it looks like as long as it's on my head and I don't look like a Fraggle. And she's like, but nobody trusts hairdressers to do that. I said, well, you're the professional. You know what you're doing, I don't. Why would I sit here going, well, I want some layers here, and I want a bit of, balayage, and a bit of this, and a bit of that. I don't know. I just want it short. Here's a picture. Kind of get somewhere in that ballpark, and we're good. So, control freak was never, ever something that I would have pegged myself as. But by doing this 5 whys question, I figured out that the reason I procrastinated on things like making a video, even though I wanted to make a video, was because I felt like other people were making me make the video. Now, I know that sounds weird, okay? But when you've got 11,000 people following you on YouTube and every single time you're on, everybody's like, oh, you're back, you're doing this, you're doing that. When's your next video? You know, they've barely finished watching the one you've done now, and they're like, when's your next one coming out? It's a lot of pressure. And you think, well, hang on a minute. I'll do a video when I feel like it. You know? What's your schedule? What days do you release videos? Well, when I feel like it. Yeah, but what days? When I feel like it. I don't like feeling beholden to anybody or like I have to do something. My classes. I love my classes. I love teaching. I love what I do. But what I enjoy is this. Interaction with you guys. I know I'm not interacting as much as I normally do with you today, but I don't want to be on here for 3 hours today. I like the back and forth. I like the interaction. I like talking through something, chewing it over, getting feedback, you know, answering questions, that kind of thing. It is no fun to sit and film a video where you're trying to think of all the different things that people might possibly ask you and cover all of that. It's far more interesting to just do a class, show people, and then people ask you questions that come completely out of left field and you're like, oh, I didn't even think that might be a question. That is interesting. That is what interests me, because I am the kind of person who can answer those questions on the fly. I don't have to say, oh, well, hang on a minute while I try and figure out how to explain it or how to show it to you, or oh, I'll have to look that up, I'm not sure. If I'm not sure, I'll wing it. It's that simple. I will wing it until I clarify it in my head and come up with a solution that works. Or, as my class will tell you, I will just say, well, I have no idea, let's find out. Pull everything out, let's have a go. You know, does this work if you do this, this and this? I don't know. Let's have a go, shall we? Let's see what happens. Let's try it. So in that sense, that's what I love doing. I love teaching, I love interacting, I love sharing. And I love getting feedback in the form of people asking questions or people giving ideas. I often say I learn as much from my classes as my students do, because they come up with stuff that I would never have thought of. In fact, one of my students for the Christmas party for the class is actually going to do a session on how to set goals, because I don't know how to set goals. I've never set a goal in my life. I'm like, oh, I'll do this. Off we go, you know. Jupiter in Sag on the ascendant, and Mars in Aries. Okay, let's do it. Do we know what we're doing? No. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Unerringly optimistic. I have a can-do attitude, as people say. Of course I can do it. I might have to learn how to do it. I might have to figure it out as I go along. I might have to look something up. I might have to Google some stuff. But of course I can do it. Why wouldn't I be able to do it? As long as it doesn't involve hang gliding or something like that, you know, we're fine. So being told I was a control freak, I was like, well, but am I? Yeah, I absolutely am. I don't want to feel like, well, I've created this video, I filmed this video, and now in order to provide a video to the people who want the video, there's that word, they want something from me, I need to provide something. In order to do that, I have to edit it, I have to rewatch it to make sure it works, and that's a long process. Anybody who tells you that they're filming a video isn't a long process doesn't film videos very well, because honestly, it's a day's filming, and usually at least half that long in editing to make a video that's about maybe 20 minutes. I don't know how people do vlogs every day, because I don't want to vlog. I don't want to vlog. I'm not interested in vlogging. I don't want to be a video maker. And that's where I felt like I was being pushed. I make videos. I do online stuff. I allowed myself to get pushed into that rut of, I make videos, I put them on YouTube, I teach classes, I make videos, I put them up for my class. Again, there's that word, autopilot. If you're working on autopilot, you're not intentionally doing anything, and therefore you cannot be happy. Because you can only be happy if you are intentional about what you're doing. If you're just on autopilot, sitting there, you know, doing the Laverne and Shirley with the old passing the glass bottles one to the next, then you're not fulfilling anything. You're not doing anything. You're not being present, as they put it, you know. Now, a while back, I did a thing where I did, instead of having a to-do list, I had a want-to-do list. Because I kind of had this idea that I had to change the way my brain thought of things so that it became something I wanted to do. But it was still something that I felt I didn't have control over. Other people wanted a YouTube video, therefore I convinced myself that I wanted to make a YouTube video. And that's not right, because I don't want to make a YouTube video. And I certainly don't want to make it on demand. I'm not a performing monkey, you know? My therapist once told me to change have to need to and want to. And if you don't want to, then maybe it's something that you don't need to do. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Murph. That's exactly where we're going with this. If it's something that you feel you have to do, and it's not something that is necessary, and this is something else that Ryder talks about right at the beginning. You know, if it's not necessary, it's a distraction. Necessary things are stuff like paying your rent, keeping a roof over your head, doing the groceries, and so on. That's something that is necessary. You might not want to go and do the groceries, but you have to if you want to eat. Okay? What I needed to do was to remember and reconfirm to myself that my students actually weren't demanding anything of me. That's how it felt. It felt like my YouTube following, my students, and so on, wanted this stuff and wanted a video from me and were asking for this. I don't want to pay my rent. I need to pay my rent. I don't want to pay my rent. I would be perfectly happy never paying rent again. But I need to pay my rent if I want to stay in my nice little flat. So I don't see want and need as the same thing. It's a priority. It's stuff you have to do. That's the adulting part. Outside of the adulting part, you have choices. And one of those choices is to look at what you're doing and say, do I want to do this? I had got into the mindset, I suppose you could call it, of saying, I have to make a video for my students, because why? My students have paid for a class and they expect to get what they've paid for. The revelation came when I said, well, hang on a minute. Instead of spending 4 hours filming a video and 3 hours editing a video and then another 2 hours doing all sorts of extra writey stuff to explain the video and then just putting it up and leaving them to it, why don't I do it live as a class in front of them so that they can ask questions? And instead of spending 6 hours doing stuff that I don't want to do, I can spend 3 hours doing stuff that I love doing. Boom. Procrastination gone. I am a recovered procrastinator. I have not procrastinated. I've been, what is it they say in Alcoholics Anonymous? I've been clean now for 47 days. Since mid-October, I have not procrastinated on a single thing. I no longer lie in bed thinking, oh, but I don't want to get up because I have to edit that video. Oh, but I have to do this, so I have to do that. No, I don't. I wake up and I go, ooh, I'm teaching at 11. Awesome. I think I'll go and grab a coffee before I do that, but first I'll have a shower, so I better get up. No procrastination. Look, I want to get up and have a shower because I want to feel like a human being. My dogs need a walk. I want to take my dogs out for a walk anyway, but my dogs need a walk, so that has to happen. And then, you know, Mama needs a coffee because all good plans start with a cup of coffee. In order to fit all that in before my class at 11, which I'm going to do because I want to do it, and it's live, and I'm going to be there and go, hi guys, how are we doing? Here's what we're doing today. I need to get up out of bed now. Off we go. I am now at the point where I've decided, I think, pretty much, unless it's something that needs to be filmed in advance. Like if I did a vlog or something that was a day in the life type thing, I would have to do it like that. And that's okay as a one-off thing. I don't mind doing that as a one-off thing. It'll make a nice change. There will be some teaching things that I have to do that way because you can't fit all of it into 3 hours. So you have to pre-prepare some stuff and pre-film some stuff. That's okay too. It's the thought of feeling like I have to get up and go and film, to edit a video, to put it up because other people expect it. I don't want to live my life to other people's expectations. I want to live my life according to what I want to do because I am a control freak and I don't like other people telling me what to do. I like my freedom. I like to do what I want, when I want to do it. If I want to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, then I jolly well will work at 4 o'clock in the morning. If I want to still be in bed at 12 o'clock at midday, then I will be. And I want the freedom to be able to say, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this way. I want to do it like this. And by taking away that sense of obligation, I guess you'd call it. Yeah, feeling obliged to do things. Feeling obliged to do Vlogmas. Because everybody says every year, you know, halfway through October, all the DMs start, are you doing Vlogmas this year? Feeling obliged that you have to do Vlogmas because that's what people expect. And then you get to day 8 and you're like, I don't want to do any more pre-recorded videos. It's driving me mad. And yet here I am, day 7. I'm still here. 2 more days and I've beaten my record. I've got a list of things. I hope you don't hate doing handouts. I like to go to class prepared to focus on something. Oh, no, that's not how we work. No. Online teaching, especially in the areas that we do, very much started out and continued as monkey see, monkey do. Here's a video I've pre-recorded and I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you're going to copy me and you're going to have a page just like mine. And here's a PDF to go with it. That's not how I do it. I give out, and we figured this out from starting to do the live videos, then getting feedback from the class, which is how I like to work. I get feedback from my students. And what we now do is on Tuesdays, we have a PDF research. So I give out a PDF that is, this is what we're doing this week. This is what you need to go and research. This is what you need to go and focus on. Here's several different ways you could do it if you want to. Here's different things you could do. Here's different things you might like to do. For instance, we did the moon. For those who were doing witchy stuff, they could look at moon rituals and the meanings of the different, you know, waxing, waning and full moon and all that kind of stuff. For those who just wanted to learn to paint the moon, well, that's fine. Just maybe journal about the moon. Why do you want to paint the moon? Think about why you want to paint the moon. Think about how you might want to paint the moon. And then on Saturday, that's what we're going to do. For those who like stories and stuff, it's more for people who are, well, you know, go and find your favourite story that involves the moon. Find quotes that you love about the moon. That kind of stuff. So everybody has different things they can do. You know, if you're a sciencey type, go and look up the weight and the distance and, you know, all the nerdy stuff about the moon. How much does it weigh? Can you work out how much the moon weighs? Has anybody figured out how much the moon weighs? And if so, how do they do it? You know, all that kind of stuff. And I just put those suggestions into the PDF in different ways so that people can pick and choose what they want. And then we do art based on those things. So if you've done scientific research, you know how you want to make your art. If you want to do like the maybe you're doing witchy stuff, you might want to do a very pretty, you know, semicircle of the different moons and things like that. If you're just doing art, you might just want to do a tree with the moon behind it and an owl. You know, you can think about how you want to do your art based on the PDF. So there's always a PDF, but we do the PDFs in advance. So you get the PDF on a Tuesday. On the Thursday, we chat about it, we talk about it, we start coming up with ideas of how we could do it. And then we either do it straight away, or if it turns out to be a longer class, then we do it on the Saturday. But usually we do it on the Thursday, because I usually know how I want to do it and what I want to do. For instance, we did crystals, and we did looking at, the first week was looking at the crystals that you own and looking at the scientific makeup. How are they made? Where do they come from? Are they rare? Are they not rare? What different versions are they? Are they related to other crystals? You know, what structure crystal are they? And all that kind of stuff. Then we did, based on how your crystals are formed, what you could use them for. So if your crystal is formed by being thrown up into the air like obsidian, then maybe it's an air crystal, maybe it's mental energy. If it's fire, if it's made by fire, maybe it's an action stone. What can you do with that? And because it's all intuitive, we don't just go on Google and go, ooh, what does chalcedon do? Oh, that's it, yeah, ooh, it's for this, and this, and then we copy it out into our book of shadows. That's not what we do. Not at all. We go and research our own stuff, and we work intuitively to decide for ourselves what will work and what won't. And we look things up if we think we need help, and we discuss things with other people who've got more experience than us to decide whether we're on the right lines or not and stuff like that. It's very interactive. But yeah, we always have handouts. Always. Emily, why is your font weird? I can't read it properly. It looks really weird. We got sidetracked there, sorry. As if that's new. Why do I get sidetracked? That's my next question. Yeah, so procrastination. If I feel like other people are demanding things of me, or I feel obliged to do things, whether I want to or not, even if I want to sometimes, I start to feel busy. And right at the beginning of this book, Ryder says that often when we say we're busy, what we mean is we're functionally overwhelmed. And there is the problem. Because if you are overwhelmed, you're not in control. There's the reason I procrastinate. I procrastinate because I feel like I have lost control. So by procrastinating and saying, I'm going to not do that, it's like in a kind of reverse way, I'm taking back control. And saying, well, other people are forcing me to do this, therefore I'm not going to do it. There's actually there's always a disorder for everything, isn't there? But there's an American thing, some kind of disorder where it's anti-authority. The minute somebody tells you that you have to do something, or somebody tells you that you should do something, or tells you just to do something, your immediate reaction is, no, why should I? I don't want to. Even if it's something that, if you thought about it, you'd go, oh yeah, I'd quite enjoy doing that. Your immediate reaction is, but I don't want to. Why don't you want to? Because somebody else has told you to do it. Why don't you feel like you want to do what other people tell you? Because you are a control freak and you want to feel like you made the decision. Functionally overwhelmed. Boom. Light bulb. Yeah. The minute I feel like, even if it's not really happening, because it's all in your head at the end of the day, it's all up here and it's all to do with how you think and how you respond to stuff. If you start to feel overwhelmed, then your immediate response is to step back. The minute I feel like people are demanding things of me, even if they're not actually even asking things of me, perhaps it's something that I've offered to do, but the minute I feel like it's a demand on my time and I have to do it, I don't want to. Even if it's something that I actually do want to do, I don't want to do it. Because my brain is saying, but if somebody else is demanding something of you, then you're not in control. And I like to be in control. So now, the way I've managed to stop procrastinating is to simply change, like, was it Murph was saying, rename it. It's not stuff you have to do, it's stuff you want to do. And if you can't just rename it, which is what I did before, I tried to do, instead of having a to-do list, I have a want-to-do list. But at the end of the day, I still felt like it was stuff that other people were demanding of me. Now, I'm like, okay, I want to teach a class on crystals. How am I going to do that? And I start laying it out. And guess what? Nowhere in there is there me going, oh, I need to write a paper, I need to do this, I've got to do this, I'm going to have to write a PDF. No, because my brain is saying, I want to do this. I've decided that notice the amount of I's in this sentence. I've decided that I want to teach it over 2 weeks. I want to cover this in the first session, and I want to cover this in the second session. And in order to do that, I will write a PDF that covers this, this, and this. Again, things that I have decided I want to include. I'm in control. The parade of daily activities, yeah. Yeah. I call that my morning routine. The parade of daily activities. Brush your teeth. Walk the dog, feed the dog. I enjoy my dog walks. My dog walks are my exercise. I love it. Hi, Ina. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh saying, hi, Ina. I'm so easily amused. I'm getting an awful lot of notes in the things going, oh my god, bingo. Ooh, yes. Ooh, light bulbs. Light bulbs are going off all over the place. Yes, functional overwhelm. If you feel busy and overwhelmed, you are not in control. And if you are busy and overwhelmed and procrastinating, maybe the reason you're procrastinating is because you need to be back in control. Now, I'm not saying that's true for everybody. Your reason for procrastinating might be something completely different. One of the girls in class, we were talking through why she procrastinates, and we came up with the idea of, she said she sometimes felt like people would realise she didn't know what she was talking about. Boom, imposter syndrome. Some people have a fear of failure, or a fear of success, or a fear of not being able to finish. That's a very genuine thing. You know, sometimes you get started on something, you're like, well, I don't know, I know a bit of it, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it. Well, who cares if you finish it or not? Do what you can do and then learn how to finish it. So there you go. That was my light bulb moment number 2 from the bullet journal method. I no longer procrastinate, because I don't allow my brain to tell me that other people are asking me to do stuff. Nobody ever asks me to do anything. Ever. My mum occasionally will ask me to do something and I'm like, oh, okay. But, you know, oh, can you do me a favour? You know, that's not, you must do this. You must produce a video for YouTube on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. You must show up for a class on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. You must do a Twitch stream on Wednesdays and Fridays. No, these are all things I want to do. And, you know, there are people on YouTube who are never going to be happy that my videos are not pre-recorded, they're not pre-scheduled, that I ramble, that I get sidetracked, that I have a strange laugh and I don't cut it out, and, you know, my filming isn't perfect, and etc, etc, etc. And those people are not going to like that. And guess what? I don't care. If you don't like my channel, there's like 40,000 million other channels that you can go and look at. If you don't like the fact that my videos tend to be about an hour long, how is that my problem? Why should I put pressure on myself that makes me miserable to make sure that my videos are short enough to make the 1 or 2 people happy who prefer 20-minute videos? Most of the people who come to my sessions stay for the whole session. And if they don't stay for the whole session, the reason is usually, sorry, I've got to go and take the kids to school, or sorry, I've got to go and walk the dog, or, you know, Ina's only just got here. Why has Ina only just got here? Well, probably because she's only just got home from work. And guess what? The minute she gets home, she's tuned in. She's probably tuned in and making herself a cup of tea and trying to listen in at the same time while the kettle's boiling. Because that's the people that I hang out with. Those are my YouTube followers. Those are my students. Those are my friends. You know, those are my tribe, as they say. The people who want to be here for an hour and listen to what I have to say and go, ooh, that's an interesting point, and go away and think about it and journal about it and write about it, or go, huh, that was interesting. Doesn't really apply to me, but that was still interesting. Those are my people. You're my peeps. You're my peeps. I don't have any peeps. I've got some little shortbread teddy bears outside. Yeah, if you don't want to be here for an hour listening to me talk, don't be here for an hour listening to me talk. If you do, great. Talk to me. Tell me stuff. Ask me questions. Interact with me, because that's what I like to do and that's what I'm here for. And as long as I keep doing that, I won't keep procrastinating. Yes! There you go. I could care less what the video looks like or how polished it is. The content is the queen. That's pretty much... I've been in a lot of classes where everything is filmed in super HD, ultra, whatever. And the video downloads like 8 gigs. And you're like, I'm never going to download this video. It buffers for quarter of an hour before you can stream it. And I'm like, dude, I'd rather have a 320 video or a 640 video and just be able to watch it now. Come on. I'm too impatient for that. If I'm going to give an hour of my life to watching your video, then I'm not going to be sitting watching it in Ultra HD, because it'll just keep buffering and I don't have time for that. It annoys me. I want to be able to download it and watch it while I make a cup of tea. So, you know, that is one of the reasons why when I do my class videos. They're like this, but we do it on Zoom so that it's interactive. So you can literally be on the thing and ask questions on audio or video or whatever. You can be on chat as well if you want to. And then when I download it, I convert it to broadband quality, basic broadband quality, because I've got students who don't have internet. I've got 2 students who don't have internet, and I've got one who's still on dial-up. They can't be downloading 4K videos. So it doesn't matter how good my video looks. They're not going to come and do the class and enjoy the class and, you know, do interactive stuff with me that I enjoy and they enjoy if they can't download the video. They can't watch the video. They're not going to bother, are they? So, anyway, that is why I procrastinate and how I have stopped. I didn't know they still offered dial-up internet. Well, perhaps not in the US. There are some countries that still have analogue, believe it or not. I know, I was amazed too. Before I go, let me show you what I did this morning, in case you're interested, for those of you who didn't tune into Twitch this morning. Here's my new painting. This is only the first session, so... Oh, there you go. If I come back here, you can see the painting and me. Yeah, would you believe, John, you know Amber from class? She lives in Washington, D.C., 40 minutes from the capital, and she doesn't have internet at all. She's got data on her phone, and that's it. She can't get cable internet, or any kind of internet. How's that for being behind the times? This is my new painting. It's called The Christmas Star. And I've only done 1 session on it. So this could be, the last one was 6 2-hour sessions, which equates to, with the chatting and the subs and all that kind of stuff, I suppose we do maybe 1 hour and a quarter. So maybe 8 hours of painting. So we've only done 1 hour and a quarter on this today. Actually, I think I worked on this for most of the 2 hours. So this actually is 2 hours, but I've got a long way to go with it. And also, I don't know if you'll be able to see this one from here, but for those of you in my class, look at the size of that monster. That's the next one that's going to be getting an overhaul. Thanks for joining us, Brenda. Cheers. Yeah, that's what we're going to be playing with on Saturday. That'll be fun. It's one I started back in July and I hated it. And I knew as soon as I started I hated it. And now I know what I want to do with it. So, yes, we're going to start playing with that on Saturday. It will be... Because my Saturday class, I've got to go out on Saturday afternoon and I don't know what time I'll be back. So Saturday evening it's going to be, and I don't know what time. But I am going to work on it for at least 1 hour or so tomorrow. And of course I'm in the UK, so for you guys that's like the afternoon for a lot of you. Okay. It is crazy, John, I know. I've got like the top of the range fibre optic broadband. I can download like an 8 gig video in about 4.5 seconds. I've got unlimited data on my phone. And there's other people who live just outside Washington, D.C. and don't even have internet yet. It's crazy. Anyway. We've reached the hour. And I'm determined that most of my videos are not going to be too much more than 1 hour long. So, ooh, 5G. Oh, I bet that's worth every penny. I'm going to wrap up there. Tomorrow's video, like I said, will be super short. I'm going to do one of my artist friend sent me some lovely stuff this week, so I'm going to do a quick Happy Mail artist show and tell. So kind of an artist showcase tomorrow of some stuff that she sent me, because I'm really busy tomorrow. I can't do more than a few minutes. So I will do that tomorrow, probably be early in the morning. Most of you will not catch it live. Hello, Alan. Don't forget to come over to my new, what's it called? Website. No, there. That's really weird. I'm pointing the wrong way. There, RhomanysRealm.org.uk. It's not all classes. There's free stuff. There's interactive stuff. And you can also get all my links for everything, everywhere, in one place, instead of, you know, got to be on Twitch, got to be on YouTube, got to be here, got to be there. No, it's all in one place, so you can find everything you want just there. And we've got a fabulous community. Most of the people who are here are also on the website. They love the website. We need more people in the coffee lounge chatting away. You don't have to be witchy, although, you know, a lot of the content is witchy. You don't have to be. We've got several people who are not witchy, and they are all over in the Muggle forum, where they talk about non-witchy stuff. But they also do get involved in some of the stuff we're doing. You know, just because you're not a witch doesn't mean you don't have crystals, or you don't like incense, or whatever. You know, in fact, find me a Catholic church that doesn't burn incense. I saw a meme the other day that said something about you wear ritual clothes for an hour, you burn incense, and you eat fake blood. You drink fake blood and eat fake flesh, and you don't call that magic. Oh, I'll probably get shouted at for that now, but I don't care. It's all the same stuff. Haven't visited in the last few days. Yeah, I haven't either. I'm a little bit behind with the website because I've been busy, but, you know, if you want your Vlogmas, you got to deal with me not being on the website all that much. But tonight is pizza and scary movie night with Miss Maddie, which is why she keeps sitting here huffing at me, because we are behind our times. So I'm going to go and order pizza and sit and watch some scary movies. I'm running out of scary movies to watch. And by scary, I don't actually mean scary. I mean stuff that's supposed to be scary that I laugh all the way through. If you've got any suggestions, leave them down below. Because I'm sure there's got to be new movies that have come out that I haven't seen. But I'm struggling to find any that I actually enjoy. Need to check in on Ning. Yes, everybody. Oh, I need to put up today's journal prompt. Guys, I did this on Twitch earlier. I got behind with journal prompts today. The journal prompt for today's class, I gave it to the Twitch guys, so I'll give it to the YouTube guys as well. What do you think Santa wants for Christmas? That is our journaling prompt for When Frogs Sing. No, for the Christmas Chronicles today. What do you think Santa wants for Christmas? I suspect Santa wants the same thing as I do. Bit of peace and quiet and a nice cup of tea. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you again tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 8. Starting week 2. I will see those of you who are in class tomorrow night for some of that. And if you want to come and hang out on the website with us, by all means do. There's the link. Come and play. See you again soon, guys. Bye.